Excellent. All right, so you've used Photoshop before, okay? So as you can see here, very similar layout to Photoshop. The tools do different things, but it's very similar. You've got layers as well. You've got a layer panel, just like Photoshop, okay, which is really important here, so you can make new layers. So if you do stuff, so a quick catch up for people that haven't used this in a while, okay? Layers allow you to work, there we go, independently, and then if you change one, it doesn't affect the other, okay? So you can do different things and they won't affect each other, all right? So what you guys will be doing essentially is following that little kind of toot that I've done in the iBook and get the basics of how to do this stuff, how to create this character, okay? So the first step you'll probably be doing is getting that drawing in. We're jumping forward, we're not going to draw it, okay, because we don't have enough time, bless you, because we've missed a bit. So what you want to do, the first thing you'd want to do is place that image in, okay? So if I go place, and it's on the desktop there, and I place it in, and we can see there it is there, okay? Now, the good thing with Illustrator, like I said, is you don't have to, whoops, you don't have to worry about, you know in Photoshop, you have to pick, if you're going to make an A4 page, Sam, can you pay attention please? If you're going to have an A4 page or an A3 page, you have to pick that first, because that's important. You know, if you want to make an A3 poster, and in Photoshop you do a really small letter size, you know, bit of canvas, when you enlarge it, it looks like crap, doesn't it? But in Illustrator, remember, we don't have to worry about that because you're working in vectors, so you don't really have to worry about the size of the canvas here, because anything you do will be able to enlarge, will be able to shrink infinitely. So that's why I didn't worry about that. So what I'm going to do is bring this guy down. What you'll notice, if you do stuff like that, it'll distort, okay, which is what you don't want. So I'll bring it back to where we were. So what you do is hold Shift. So Shift will basically uniformly scale that. So that's one thing to remember when you're playing around. So we'll move that down. So we'll get that where we want it to go. Let's go in the center there. All right, and so now we're pretty much ready to go. But what you want to do is you don't want to draw on this layer here, okay, in case you want to make changes. So what I would suggest is you do a new layer and you'll see it kind of pop up there, all right? And that's where you're going to do the work. So what you want to do here is lock this layer. So if I put that, see if I tab that, it puts a padlock on it. All that means is I can't now accidentally touch that, move it, do whatever I want with it, okay? So this is where you want to be to start off with. You're basically ready to go. So now I can let you go through that little quick tutorial. It's pretty simple. Once you start playing, I want to let you go first and have a play and see how you go, okay? And then I'll come around and help you individually if you need it. But I think you'll find it's really, really easy to do some really cool stuff. So that's where you want to go. Now, the only other thing to bear in mind is when you start, see how I can't really do anything here? You've got to make sure you actually select the layer you want to work on. So if I select layer 2, it'll actually be highlighted in grey, and now I can work on it. All right? So that's what you want to do. So this little image here, I'm going to put it in the resource folder. I'll do it right now, actually. And you can open it up from there, and then you're on your own.